If you don't go number one, are you the type that holds a grudge forever?
Well, I'd be mad. You gotta understand, I think about it like this. These are good problems to have.
I completely agree.
You could be in a way worse situation.
It's clear that Shedeur Sanders brings in the money. Shedeur Sanders is taking this quarterback battle very seriously. Already in Cleveland, already getting private work in. People are trying to spin it, though. People are trying to make some narratives about it, so we're going to get into that. We're also going to go back and, sadly, we got the proof of where Deion Sanders didn't want Shedeur Sanders to go, so we'll watch that video. We got time. We got Pac-Man crashing out. We got more people defending, and we have extra time. We have some more insight on some of the real reasons, at least Rich Eisen has it, on why Shedeur fell in some of those things. But let's see him get after it. So here he was. I think that's copyright music, so you know what I'm saying? But he's showing up, and now here's the thing. Here's where the controversy, quote unquote, because, and this is going to come in later with either different videos or even videos that we react to a little later in this same video, and it's this idea that everything Shedeur Sanders does is going to be newsworthy, right? Only reason why I'm making this video is because of how much of a big deal people made about this video. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Normal QB showing up after you get drafted. He shows up to the place that he's drafted before mini camps, right? You would think that's just the regular schmegular, but of course with Shedeur it's going to get amplified to another level. So he showed up. People were reporting in the Cleveland Browns training room and facility. That was not the truth. He was just in Cleveland. He is in Cleveland. He's at a private workout. It's like a Browns themed thing, but he's clearly putting in that work. There he is at the Hill. You know what I'm saying? And then we go into more controversy because some people was like, oh, well, why does he need to film all his workouts? You know what I'm saying? And it might be Browns fans, so we'll give him grace. I mean, he's been filming everything. Shedeur Sanders, football, his workouts, his, you know what I'm saying, everything has been filmed since he was like in high school. Since he was in middle school. Didn't Shedeur Sanders, I mean, didn't Deion have a reality TV show or something like that? So I think this is just par for the course for him. I don't think it's nothing. Whenever he trained last offseason, there was videos. He trained this season, there was videos. When he was training up to the draft, we were reacting to videos of him slinging the ball. So I think it's great to see him continue that. And this ain't nothing new. He's going to continue to put that work in. But you know, the more he shows, I think the more people are just going to find ways and reasons to kind of do that. And here's another picture from the roof. It says Shedeur Sanders seen putting in work, running sprints at Veterans Memorial Park in Parma after showing up a week and a half early for Browns rookie camp. So he wants to get there. He wants to get acclimated. He wants to feel what it's like to be down there in the dang Cleveland Hills. Here he is hopping up a hill. And if you know, hey, man, shout out to Walter Payton. If you're a real athlete, you know them hills put you in your place, man. And it seems like he's trying to get explosive. They say I'm not an athlete. How about we get some? Let's do some explosive drills, huh? How about we explode up out of there, huh? How about we show them? So I like that. You know, hills are about speed. It's about explosions. It's about that quick twitch. And everybody gonna call you and say you're not your daddy when it comes to being an athlete. Why don't you prove him wrong? He gonna go up sideways here. Some powerful shuffles. Let's see. Oh, a little shuffle and run. Oh yeah. I would love to see Shedeur Sanders show up. Now, look, you know, when you're 23 years old, you're about molded of an athlete as you can be. You know, the thing that's going to start advancing is probably going to be his mind. I think it's going to be a natural progression. But I would love for him to come in just in great shape and just that little step, right? And he ain't gonna shave off his 40 time. He ain't gonna become Michael Vick. He ain't gonna be Deion Sanders after putting in extra work. But he can be sharp. His legs can be fresh. His legs can be good. He can have a little spring to give him that best advantage. To, you know what I'm saying? You don't always have to be fast. You just have to be quick enough. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be able to do that. And he's shown he did that. What did he have, like 19 rushing touchdowns throughout the collegiate football? He reached a top speed of 19 miles an hour at Jackson State, which would rank within the top 20% of active quarterbacks in the NFL right now. He don't get it twisted now. Don't get it rearranged. He can make something happen if it needs to get made happen. But all right, well that's him. Again, par for the course. I'm not surprised by it. That's what Shedeur does. He comes up and he works. I mean, that's what his daddy do. Now, a lot of people saying his daddy messed some things up. And you know, while everybody is now coming out and saying collusion cannot be the problem, it can't be the issue. You know, hey man, were teams upset about stuff like this? I don't know.
Anybody from no, because if I say that, it's gonna go viral. I can't. Cleveland. Lord, thank you. What'd you say? Cleveland.
Oh no.
We praying for the Giants right now. Yes, we are.
Hey man, they already have it. And then, you know what I'm saying, we're hoping for the Giants. I don't know, does that make people feel a certain way? And I think I had that. Did I still have that picture? There was an old tweet of Dion basically talking about how he didn't want Cleveland. Like, so there's been multiple things. How about forget it. Let's just pull it up. Can't believe I messed that up. But you know, and I think that was, even if he didn't say that, I think it was pretty understood that the Browns' reputation, you know, was not one that is known to have, you know, great. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, there ain't nothing great about it when it comes to yep, I already found it. When it comes to their history of stuff. And then here's another tweet from Dion. From Coach Prime. It says, I love what the Browns have done this offseason. This is back in 2018. But if I'm a young quarterback, ain't no way I'm going to Cleveland. I would pull an Eli Manning if possible about it. Think about it. Truth. This man, hey man, Coach Prime do tweet like a 50-year-old dog. that boy be tweeting whatever. Can that play a factor? I think it did. And I think the biggest thing that we talk about is going to be this common sentiment. The more that people talk about him being a backup quarterback, that is where the off the field stuff that's not negative hurts him, right? It's not that they hate the circus, they hate that. It's that as a backup quarterback who they just want to, you know, whatever. You just need to be needed when you need it. I don't want you to cause no attention. I don't need the cameras in your locker room as a backup quarterback. It's clear that, you know, with these things being said, I think that's when it starts to lean into it. But hopefully no one thinks he's a terrible person, because a lot of people on Twitter think so. And Pac-Man, he got something to say about it, and this boy's a little fired up. So let's see what Pac-Man Jones, a known Deion Sanders and Sanders family lover, has to say about the fall and everything else in between.
I don't understand how Shedeur went all the way to the 5th round and by the worst team. I know what everybody else want to say, saying the politically correct thing that it. And I really do think the president has something to do with this in a good way. Like, hey, yo, tweet about it, boom. Obviously, he get picked 5 minutes later from the worst team that could have picked him. And the coach, I don't know if y'all seen the interview. The guy has the GM, sorry. The guy have no coof about nothing that he. Andrew Berry, shove it up your ass. The worst interviews I've ever seen a GM do about a player that they are drafting. Sorry, he's saying shit that we already know. Why are you guys? We expect him to come in and work hard. Nothing's given to you. Ain't nothing got you to about it. 5th round pick. You got 5 mother quarterbacks, bro. This shit got me hot, bro.
Okay, well, it looks like Pac-Man Jones. He feels a certain way. He does feel a certain way. Hold up, I think we have news about. Oh yeah. Oh wow. We're gonna add this to the video. We have official news about what just happened or what just happened to Jeff Ulbrich and the Atlanta Falcons. First off, Pac-Man is going hard in the paint. Another person that went hard in the paint was, of course, Mel Kiper. But speaking on this, I think, you know, if I show the video, I might have put a video over it, and I hope I bleep, because he was dropping them F-bombs like nothing. I didn't mean that to pierce your ears like that. We usually like to keep it kosher like salt around here, but you know, it happens to the best of us. With that being said, I do think that the jumping of that and the negativity of that when he's already on that team, I think that can be detrimental, you know, when the people in his corner are doing those stuff like that. But I think there's a little bit of truth. There's a little bit of truth in every crash out, just like there's a bit of truth in every you know, joke. I think the overreaction from Pac-Man, there's some nuggets in there. There's some good points being made, but hey, do they need to be made right now? Clearly that's who he sees as, you know, maybe like a little nephew. So I think that's the reason why he went so hard. Let's hear why Mel Kiper literally put his career on the line for 3 days to talk about it. And I'm gonna pull up this new updated information about the prank call situation.
In terms of Shedeur, I had a high grade, and I felt like what they were saying to me that I would say that hit me was, it was almost like Shedeur has to take responsibility for this. He didn't do this. He needs to clean some things up. I was saying, like, oh, what does he need to clean up? Because he's never going to go through this again. The things that you're saying he needs to clean up.
Yeah.
Interviews with teams that don't want him, he's never going to deal with that again. And I said, what did he do off the field? Nothing.
Nothing.
He's a great kid.
Yeah.
He plays football and he goes up and he does what he does. He's never in trouble. He's never had any issue. The players love him. So if the players love him, I talk to people at the combine. Everybody say he was a great kid. I understand what people say if they want to keep it to the fact that he's 6'3", not big. He's not the biggest quarterback. He doesn't have the strongest arm. He's not the greatest, 40 time or whatever you want to say in terms of mobility and running around. I get that. But when you start saying, making a personal thing about the Sanders family and about that's where I kind of felt like it was just unfair.
Shout out to Mel Kiper, right? A lot of a certain demographic of NFL draft watcher, and I wasn't watching the draft. I was just waiting for, I watch draft spectaculars and so, shout out to Pat McAfee. What's it called? So I don't really watch just the straight draft. I do a lot of Twitter stuff, reactions, stuff like that. So I wasn't there. I wasn't witnessing the Mel Kiper glaze. I didn't even watch the videos because people were saying that it was, he need to clean his lip up or whatever. But I think that it's kind of messed up to point him in this direction when clearly, if you were on Twitter and if you were watching what people and the things that people were saying about Shedeur, like there's something that happens when someone gets defended and like pity is given to somebody who people don't deem it necessary. They will start just finding anything to no, he deserves it. Shedeur deserves this. He needs humbling. He did this. He did that. There was so much of that going on that, to be honest with you, I think the Mel Kiper thing, it kind of evens out, right? If you're going to do that, and I think the Mel Kiper thing kind of added to the hate, right? The reason why people were so upset, I think some of that negativity goes because of Mel Kiper speaking on it so much, the Kane Ward overshadowing, so like that. I'm not going to sit here and say there's not a rightful thing to be upset with, right? There needs to be an onus on the NFL Network to understand how to rightfully spread out all their stories and create multiple stories and create a worldwide, entertainment of sorts when it comes to their talent. But it's clear that Shedeur Sanders brings in the money in the same way that they only going to talk about the Cowboys and the Lakers. Now they got another one in the Sanders because it's clearly bringing in the money. So if y'all don't like it, you probably should have stopped watching ESPN a long time ago. Let's like Pat McAfee show, which I pop in from time to time. As long as my ayahuasca uncle isn't in there. He kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. So update on the Falcons. So at first there was nothing happening to old Jeffy Ulbrich and, the whole situation. Y'all know what it is. Prank call, yada, yada, yada. Not the best light for the NFL because it was an open iPad that, everybody could have accessed. So that's not great. That's not great etiquette, I don't think. So with that being said, obviously the kid prank called him, and he didn't just prank call Shedeur. He prank called Tyler Warren and a bunch of other people. It was a whole thing. It was plenty of players who got prank called in this particular draft. So it says Adam Shedeur says the NFL fined the Falcons $250,000, boy. Woo! And defensive coordinator, woo, $100,000. Hey, I think. Now $250,000 is not a lot for a team, but for what it is, right? The thing that really I like is, all right, Jeff Ulbrich, $100,000. That's gonna hurt a coordinator's pockets. Woo! I almost feel bad for him. That little kid better find a way to pay that $100K back. That is all your fault. Well, not all your fault, Jeff. Jeff, you're an adult too. Because the dude's 21, so I don't feel bad for him. But Jeff, the coordinator, you left an iPad open and multiple kids got multiple numbers. Come on, dog. Like you gotta, you know what I'm saying? I would be hard pressed to believe that, Jeff doesn't get fired. I don't know how he is, but here's the Falcons' response. Falcons statement on $250,000 fine that the NFL levied against them. We appreciate the NFL's swift and thorough review of the last week's data exposure and the event that transpired due to it. We were proactive in addressing the situation internally and cooperated fully with the league throughout the process and accept the discipline level levied to Coach Jeff Ulbrich and the organization. We are confident in our security policies and practices and will continue to emphasize and adhere to them with our staff, whether on or off premises. Additionally, the Ulbrich family is working with organizations to participate in community service initiatives in relation to last week's matter. So he will not be getting fired, but that $100K fine, that's right by me. That's gonna hurt a coordinator's spot. I don't mean to pocket watch. I didn't want to do this, Big Jeff, but I mean, since you want to leave out, people's phone numbers and private information and let your people say what they can about these young gentlemen. His contract, he earns $1.6 million a year, making him one of the highest paid defensive coordinators in the NFL. So he's actually one of the highest paid. But make that 1.5. That's still what that is. It looks like 10% ish. I'm not good with mathematicians, but 100,000. What that is? That's like that's not 10%, but that's like 5-ish, 7%. I'm not no mathematician. Of his yearly salary, that's gotta hurt. And then on top of that, the Falcons gonna, make him do whatever. And then who's to say the Falcons don't hit him with a separate fine and say, hey, you gotta help with this $250,000. What if they take all of it from his? Oh my goodness, that would be tough. That would be tough. But hey, man, let's respect it. Let's respect the fact that you're dealing with a very sensitive information here, and treat it as so. But that's it for today. Obviously, we talked about Shedeur showing up to Cleveland. Deion, maybe not wanted to be there. Pac-Man Jones had some choice words, and now there is justice, I guess, quote unquote. Well, there is at least some resolution for the Jeff Ulbrich situation. Him being charged and levied with a $100,000 fine. Falcons with $250,000. So hey, man, at least we got something moving in the right direction there. I appreciate y'all watching these videos. If you enjoy them, leave a like. Dislike if you don't like it. Subscribe if you enjoy college football content, draft content. I guess we doing NFL now. Y'all know that meme? Am I becoming an unk? Is that not how you meme it? But for real, we will be keeping up with the LeJontes of the world, the Jimmys of the world, all of our Colorado guys in that transition to the NFL. We're going to have individual videos on each of our Colorado Buffalo players. We already did our Cam Ward video. Let me know if y'all want a Jackson Dart video, if there's anyone else. We got a Quinn Ewers video coming, which I'm super excited for. Undrafted free agent video coming as well. Some of my favorite undrafted free agents that we watched throughout the college football season. I think that's going to be a great video. But if there's any videos, we're still in the off season, but once rookie minicap starts, I think there's going to be a lot more news, a lot more we're going to be cooking. So obviously we're going to be doing that. But is there anything in particular you want to see? Let me know down below in the comments. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Keep being great. You're great. See you next time.